Hi, in this video, we're going to explore some English expressions commonly used in everyday life. Try shadowing me by repeating immediately after I say a word or a few words. You don't have to wait for an entire sentence. Let's practice speaking. Let's cut to the chase. How much is it going to cost? Let's cut to the chase. How much is it going to cost? Let's cut to the chase. How much is it going to cost? We don't have much time, so I'll cut to the chase. We don't have much time, so I'll cut to the chase. We don't have much time, so I'll cut to the chase. Get to the point, get to the point, get to the point. Get down to business, get down to business, get down to business. Not mince words, not mince words, not mince words. Get down to brass tacks, get down to brass tacks, get down to brass tacks. Get down to the nitty-gritty, get down to the nitty-gritty, get down to the nitty-gritty. Get down to cases, get down to cases, get down to cases. Get down to the bottom line, get down to the bottom line, get down to the bottom line. Get down to bedrock, get down to bedrock, get down to bedrock. Beat around the bush, beat around the bush, beat around the bush. Talk in circles, talk in circles, talk in circles. Go around in circles, go around in circles, go around in circles. Be indirect, be indirect, be indirect. Pussyfoot around, pussyfoot around, pussyfoot around. Dodge the issue, dodge the issue, dodge the issue. Let's address the main issue. Let's address the main issue. Let's address the main issue. Let's focus on the main issue. Let's focus on the main issue. Let's focus on the main issue. Shall we focus on the main issue? Shall we focus on the main issue? Shall we focus on the main issue? Could 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 we discuss the main issue? Could we discuss the main issue? Could we discuss the main issue? Would it be possible to discuss the main issue? Would it be possible to discuss the main issue? Would it be possible to discuss the main issue? Now, let's explore some English expressions. Cut to the chase. Cut to the chase is a commonly used idiomatic phrase in English. It means to get to the point without wasting time with unnecessary details or distractions. The chase in this phrase refers metaphorically to the most exciting or important part of something, like a chase scene in a movie. The phrase cut to the chase originated from the American film industry. In the early days of cinema, particularly in silent films, chase scenes were often a climactic part of the film, and the phrase, cut to the chase, was used to mean to skip unnecessary or unexciting content and move directly to the action-packed chase scene. Over time, this phrase has evolved to generally mean to get to the point, without any delays or beating around the bush. This phrase is often used to suggest skipping irrelevant or redundant information and focusing on the main or important points. Examples. 1. Let's cut to the chase. How much is it going to cost? 2. We don't have much time, so I'll cut to the chase. Some synonyms and similar words for the phrase, cut to the chase, include get to the point, get down to business, not mince words, get down to brass tacks, get down to the nitty-gritty, get down to cases, get down to the bottom line, get down to bedrock. Some antonyms and near antonyms for the phrase, cut to the chase, include beat around the bush, talk in circles, go around in circles, be indirect, pussyfoot around, dodge the issue. Cut to the chase is a commonly used idiom, which means to get straight to the point, skipping unnecessary details or preambles. This phrase is typically used in informal contexts. However, it can also be acceptable in semi-formal situations, like internal business meetings, where a certain level of informality or casual language is permitted. In contrast, in very formal settings, less idiomatic or more polite phrases such as, let's address the main issue, let's focus on the main issue, shall we focus on the main issue, could we focus on the main issue, could we discuss the main issue, or, would it be possible to discuss the main issue, would be more appropriate. These phrases should be chosen depending on the level of formality and politeness required. Can you order these phrases from the least polite to the most polite? Could we focus on the main issue? Could we discuss the main issue? Shall we focus on the main issue? Would it be possible to discuss the main issue? Let's focus on the main issue. Let's address the main issue. Ordering these phrases from the least polite to the most polite can be somewhat subjective, as it can depend on contextual factors. However, here is a general order of these phrases from the least polite to the most polite based on the level of directness and the use of modal verbs, which typically convey a higher level of politeness. 1. Let's address the main issue. 2. Let's focus on the main issue. 3. Shall we focus on the main issue? 4. Could we focus on the main issue? 5. Could we discuss the main issue? 6. Would it be possible to discuss the main issue? The first two phrases are less polite than the other four due to their directness. Between the first two phrases, the phrase, let's focus on the main issue, is more polite than the phrase, let's address the main issue. The verb, focus, imply a more collaborative and less assertive action than address. When you say, let's focus on the main issue, it suggests a collective effort to concentrate on the topic at hand without necessarily implying immediate action or resolution. On the other hand, let's address the main issue can indeed convey a more direct approach. The verb address implies tackling the issue head-on, which can be interpreted as more assertive. In formal settings, it is often more appropriate to use language that is indirect and less assertive, as it can help maintain a respectful and balanced dialogue. This approach can minimize the risk of causing offense or creating an adversarial atmosphere. The phrase, shall we focus on the main issue, is more polite than the first two phrases, as it is a suggestion or proposal rather than a direct command. Between, could we focus on the main issue, and, shall we focus on the main issue, both phrases are polite and appropriate for formal settings, but, could we focus on the main issue, is slightly more polite than the other phrase. Here's why. 1. Indirectness. The phrase, could we focus on the main issue, is more indirect than the phrase, shall we focus on the main issue? This is because the word, could, makes the request less direct. 2. Deference. The word, could, is more deferential than the word, shall. Deference is a grammatical category that expresses the speaker's respect for the listener. Deferential words are more polite, while non-deferential words are less polite. The word, could, expresses the speaker's respect for the listener's choice, while the word, shall, assumes a more predetermined course of action. 3. Tentativeness. The word, could, makes the phrase more tentative. This tentativeness of could gives more agency to the listener and is thus seen as more respectful. In this context, agency refers to the capacity or ability of the listener to act independently and make their own choices. When the speaker uses a tentative phrase like, could we focus on the main issue, it suggests that the speaker is open to the listener's input or decision on the matter. This level of respect for the listener's ability to contribute or decide is what gives the listener agency. Therefore, such tentative requests are often seen as more polite or respectful. The word shall exhibits a more assertive tone, suggesting a stronger inclination towards a specific course of action. Thus, while both could we focus on the main issue and shall we focus on the main issue are polite, could we focus on the main issue may be perceived as slightly more polite. This is due to its greater indirectness, its more deferential tone, and its increased tentativeness. These factors contribute to a higher level of politeness and respect towards the listener, making, could we focus on the main issue, a more courteous choice of phrase. Now let's talk about, could we focus on the main issue, and, could we discuss the main issue? Both, could we focus on the main issue, and, could we discuss the main issue, are quite polite, as they both use, could we, indicating a request for agreement or permission. However, could we discuss the main issue, may be seen as slightly more polite. The term discuss implies a two-way communication or exchange of ideas, which can be seen as more collaborative and respectful. The term focus suggests directing attention to something, which, while still polite, does not necessarily imply the same level of interaction as discuss. Therefore, could we discuss the main issue, may be perceived as more polite because it suggests more engagement and consideration for the other person's input. Finally, between, would it be possible to discuss the main issue, and, could we discuss the main issue, which is more polite? Both phrases are polite and appropriate for formal settings. However, would it be possible to discuss the main issue? As generally considered slightly more polite because it adds extra layers of indirectness and deference. The phrase, would it be possible to, is often perceived as more polite than, could we, because it is more indirect and deferential. It implies that the speaker is asking about the feasibility of the action, rather than directly asking the listener to perform it. While the word could can express a request, a suggestion, or a possibility, depending on the context, it is generally more direct than, would it be possible to. The phrase, would it be possible to, uses the modal verb, would, to express the hypothetical nature of the request, making it more tentative and deferential. Furthermore, the use of the impersonal subject, it, in, would it be possible to, shifts the focus from the listener to the task, which can make the request feel less direct and more polite. Therefore, would it be possible to discuss the main issue? Is the most polite phrase among the 6 we discussed above, followed by, could we discuss the main issue? Could we focus on the main issue? Shall we focus on the main issue? Let's focus on the main issue. And, let's address the main issue. Get to the point. The phrase, get to the point, means to address the main topic or the most important matter directly. The origin is quite literal, as it refers to getting to the point, or the heart, of a matter. Examples. 1. I appreciate your background information, but it's time to get to the point. 2. I'm not sure I understand where you're going with this. Could you get to the point? The phrase, get to the point, can be used in some formal settings such as semi-formal business meetings. It is a direct and concise way to guide a conversation or discussion towards the main or most important topic. However, it's important to use this phrase appropriately to avoid sounding rude or impatient. In very formal or high-stakes situations, it might be better to use a more polite or indirect phrase, such as, would it be possible to discuss the main issue? Get down to brass tacks. The phrase, brass tacks, means the essential or basic aspects of a matter. It is often used in the expression, get down to brass tacks, which means to get to the point or to focus on the most important aspects of a problem or issue. There are several theories about the origin of this phrase. One theory traces it back to the industry of haberdashery, where brass tacks, embedded into a store's countertop, served as a reliable tool for exact measurements during the fabric cutting process. The concept implies that getting down to brass tacks is akin to delving into the accurate, basic particulars of a subject. Another theory suggests that it comes from the furniture trade, where brass tacks were used to secure upholstery to wooden structures. The act of getting down to brass tacks would imply stripping away the outer layer to see the basic structure of the furniture. Yet another theory suggests a connection to shipbuilding, where brass tacks were used due to their resistance to rust. To get down to brass tacks would then mean to start working on the most essential parts of the ship. But these are just some theories among many. The exact origin of the phrase remains uncertain. Regardless of its origin, the phrase is used in a variety of contexts today, always referring to the need to focus on the most important aspect or details of a situation. Examples. 1. We've been discussing for hours. Let's get down to brass tacks and decide who's doing what. 2. It's time to get down to brass tacks and discuss the budget. Please note that there's no the before brass tacks in the idiom, get down to brass tacks. In this idiom, the absence of the before brass tacks is because it refers to a general concept, not specific brass tacks. This idiom means to focus on the essential details or the most important aspects of a situation. Here, brass tacks symbolizes the crux or crucial elements of the situation, which is an abstract concept, not a specific object or group of objects. Therefore, it's common not to use the in this context. This aligns with the tendency in English to omit the definite article when referring to a general concept or category. Using the before brass tacks in this context is less common and some people might consider it incorrect. The phrase has been traditionally used without the and is more widely accepted in that form. So it's best to use get down to brass tacks without the to stay in line with common usage. While get down to brass tacks is commonly used in informal or casual conversations, It may not be the best choice for very formal settings or formal writing. Thanks for watching.